What did your parents teach you as a kid that you didn't realize was actually f***ed up until you were older? They said foster parents were all pedophiles who raped and pimped the kids they took in. My stepdad would tell us this whenever we got bruises from him hitting us to discourage us from calling social services or telling a teacher. Edit, didn't expect this to blow up. Thanks for all the love. I turned out okay. Met some people who foster in my adult years and they're the nicest, kindest people ever. My stepdad left my mom for a Chinese mail-order wife, and my mom remarried to a truck driver who is the best dad a guy could have. Holy shit, my mom would say the same stuff to make us lie to CPS every time they got called by schools. What the duck? I hope you're doing alright these days. I'm having to mourn over the life I could have had and realize I'm probably going to be ducked up by my various traumas for life, but I have a roof over my head and good friends and a gross tiny dog, so small victories. Gross tiny dogs wishing you a happy lifetime of good and even better friends, and many, many gross tiny dogs. The same to you. I love when he snores, it sounds like oinking. My dad told me he could drink beer in the car if he drank it while the car was stopped. It's only drinking and driving if the car is in motion. I was like, makes sense. I was around 4. Apparently healthy conflict resolution doesn't involve complete avoidance in the form of locking yourself in the bedroom for days on end. I got ridiculed for pouting. But I wasn't taught how to manage bad feelings or situations, so I just did what I could. Wasn't until years later I realized I was copying my parents. I was shamed for sulking. I think sulking was feeling sad, or something. Bruh, one time my parents had agreed to let me use their debit card to buy an online game in exchange for cash that I had. When the day came that they said I had to wait for an unknown reason, I understood and didn't make a scene, but was still a little disappointed. I then proceeded to get chewed out for pouting. When I said it was okay, and that it wasn't a big deal, I then got yelled out for being passive-aggressive. Sometimes you can't win. Bruh, it's like the only remaining response is to be actively mad. Like, WTF do you want from me? Bottle it up and explode on something innocuous later? Maybe the real reason is they didn't want to feel guilty, and anything short of enthusiastic acceptance would have been an unacceptable reminder of that guilt. Gross. Because I think I do the overreacting part to appease people into thinking I'm fine. Including myself. Like, you could drive your car over my front legs and it'd yell about how I'll get right out of your way. Just gotta slide out from under here real quick. 1 second. Edit, yeah. My front legs, damn it. If you don't have back legs too, I'd what you are. Edit, yeah, my front legs, damn it. If you don't have back legs too, I'd what you are probably some kind of grotesque creature that's half centaur, top half, half reverse mermaid, bottom half. Disgusting. Anytime I felt hurt by a conflict with a friend, my parents would tell me to never talk to them again because they aren't real friends anyway. I ghosted all of my best friends thinking it was the right thing to do. Now, I know that real friends talk things out and it makes the friendships even stronger. A very painful realization. I never even considered my parents could have been wrong. Frown. This one is really sad. My parents told me that I had a limited number of words and when I got to that limit I would die. I guess it was an easy way to make me shut up. My mom used to say that to me as well. She used to get really mad at me if she felt like I asked a dumb question and would say that I was making her use possibly her last breath. Like she might need that breath one day and now she's wasted it on me. What an evil thing to say to a child. My dad was teaching me about credit cards and said you can just make the minimum payment every month. It blew my mind, made it seem like free money. Thank God I didn't take that advice. I pay my credit card off every month and hence drowning in credit card debt. My grandma taught me that you can rack up credit card debt and then get it basically nulled if you just say you're crazy and prove it. Only works once per company, though, so pace yourself. I'm pretty sure she was just too crazy to know she very much so had debt. Listen, you kill one debt collector and drape him over your mailbox, the rest will get the message. After arguing with a girlfriend and not speaking with her for a few days, both my parents told me separately to hold on to my beef with her like a grudge and use it against her later. I've been married to the girlfriend now 25 years this year, never once took my parents' advice, and have no idea how my parents' marriage survived lol. They probably use collective resentment as a bonding experience. If you ignore bullies, they will go away. They're just jealous of you. Yeah. I hated that. No, Mom, they aren't. I'm a fat, white, poor kid with an oddly huge head and no social skills in a neighborhood of rich Asians and Mexicans. They have nothing to be jealous of. When I was 7, my uncle was doing coke while I was staying over, and I told him that my mom said never to do drugs, and he said you're allowed to do cocaine because rich people do it. Luckily never got a chance to do cocaine, but I totally thought it made sense. He also died of a cocaine overdose when I was 10. If you're sad, that means the devil is inside you and you need to pray for forgiveness. I was 6 and my cat had just died. Jesus Christ, what an unempathetic asshole. During a car ride, my dad once explained to me the concept of micro-murder. It was the idea that the seconds spent in traffic behind someone driving below the speed limit, and other instances of people inconveniencing you, were seconds of your life that you couldn't get back, and should be upset about. I realize as an adult that he's got some issues and just needed an excuse to resent random people on the street. That is kind of hilarious. I'm laughing, like that's such a horrible, bitter thing to teach a kid, ha ha ha. How to lie or avoid situations where truthful responses would get me in trouble. Anytime I spoke up about anything really, I'd be ridiculed and put down by my mother, so I stopped talking. If I told her something good happened at school, she'd ask why I was still getting such bad grades. So I just stopped talking. Ducking out. Same thing with smiling too much when they're in a mood or angry or who the fuck knows when, because then they take out their frustrations on you for daring to not be as miserable as them. You can't look sad either though, because you don't have an excuse to be sad. There's people in much worse situations. And on and on. Smiling too much when they're in a mood. Oh, your mom was my mom too. Small world. That the police were going to come and take me away unless I hid. Nothing sinister. He just thought it was funny. Edit, see this one touched a nerve. Sorry if dragged up bad memories. My parents said the exact same, so I would hide behind the couch so scared. Do not ever be a bother to anyone. Solve all your problems by yourself. Oof, I feel this one. My parents paired it with always be accommodating to others. Made it so I had very few boundaries and always tried to help others even when I didn't want to, but could never ask or accept help when offered. Not a great mix for the abusive relationships I faced as I got older. It really hit me when we were walking on a wide sidewalk. A group approached and my mom shoved me off onto the grass, even though the group had plenty of room. Your own kid gets body checked so you don't even have the appearance of slightly inconveniencing strangers. My oldest kid asked me once, just out of curiosity, how come you always have to hop off the path when people are coming? But they never do? That hit me like a sack of bricks. That it was that noticeable for my kid to pick up. I never made him move, but I always do. Even now. Hard habit to break. If someone ever touches you, hit them back and don't stop hitting until they stop moving. My dad, who is facing his 3rd attempted murder charge. 3rd attempted murder charge. Wait. Just curious. Is that 3 separate attempts to murder someone and 3 failures to do so? Morbid GD curiosity. Yeah, 3 separate murder attempts on 3 different people. I'm pretty sure he just wanted to assault these people, but he has no self-control once he gets angry enough and takes things too far. Upon hearing stories of my childhood, my husband had to break it to me that it was not in fact normal for moms to share their antipsychotic meds, or chill pills, as she would call them, with their young children. I can fully relate to this. Anytime my siblings or I were having a hard time growing up, my mom would have us pop one of her Xanax to put us into an agreeable daze. When I was a teenager, she got her doctor to prescribe me my own 90 tablets of Xanax, which resulted in me being hospitalized for prescription drug abuse and paranoid delusions caused by withdrawal. I had been taught to manage all discomfort with Xanax, and I was anxious and depressed 100% of the time, so I blew through those 90 tablets in a week.